It's time for a bit of a detour video. Normally I like to talk about the top 10 games on a certain console, or which games were the best or worst at what they're trying to accomplish. In this video, however, I'm talking about my top 10 save points. Ever since the early NES days and the removal of gigantic passwords, games have had save points. With some being more memorable and useful than others, I figured I'd count down some of my favorites. If you enjoy these videos, please remember to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments which save points are your favorites. Now let's get started.
Number 10.
Yakuza is one of my favorite franchises of all time, and its use of phone booths as a save point has always been a great idea in my opinion. It keeps things feeling real and in-universe while allowing the developers to place save points all over the various locations across the series. Phone booths also allow you to store items so you don't have them taking up all your inventory space. The games that take place in a more modern setting allow you to use your cell phone to save your game, which in some games can also be used as a camera for special events, and can even include a weird Pokédex for you to track all the different enemies you faced. Yakuza 0, a game that takes place in the 80s, even has a side quest where you help a guy out with his invention of the bag phone, and once it's been completed, you can use him to save just like you would a payphone.
Number 9.
The Dragon Quest series was one of the earlier games to use a save feature, but instead of having a specific save point, you would save your game at kings and churches. In Dragon Quest 1, there was only one main castle, so you would have to be careful and make sure you'd be able to make it back to the king after accomplishing a difficult task. But as the games moved forward, each town had a priest that would allow you to save your game at their church or, shed. This was always a neat idea to me because it made you press forward to the next town after encountering hardship, so you could record your progress. It also kept your immersion in the worlds that the games do such a great job of fleshing out. With the added bonus of sometimes being able to tell you how much EXP everyone needs to level up, and being able to both revive party members as well as cure them of terrible curses, the kings and churches of the Dragon Quest games made it to number 9 on the list.
Number 8.
Final Fantasy XII has a few different types of save points, most of them being in the form of crystals. The blue ones are standard save points which fully heal your party as well as revive fallen party members, and the orange gate crystals allow you to warp to other gate crystals you've already been to. But these aren't the save crystals that made the list. Instead, I'm here to talk about the nastiest save point ever. Yes, even nastier than encountering a typewriter without an ink ribbon in the Resident Evil games. I'm talking about the crystal bugs. Crystal bugs look like a save crystal, and walk like a— wait, save crystals aren't supposed to walk. You guessed it, crystal bugs are motherfucking save point mimics. Imagine trudging your way through an intense dungeon, finally spotting a save crystal at the other end of the room, then it begins walking towards you and attacking. Crystal bugs are terrifying, but if you can beat them, they do turn into actual save crystals for you to save your game. For being such an evil yet innovative idea, the crystal bug makes its way to number 8.
Number 7.
The Mother, or Earthbound series, is one that I've always wanted to try out but never got the chance to, and a few years ago I played a game called Undertale that was apparently similar to the series, and I absolutely hated it. Despite still being on the fence when it comes to the Mother series, when countless people told me to check out the frogs from Mother 3 for this video, I had to check it out. And let me tell you, I want to play this series now more than ever. These little frogs are packed with charm and hilarity. Like most of the entries in this video, they do an amazing job of keeping the immersion while being cute as fuck and hilarious. The frogs from Mother 3 could have potentially been higher on this list, but since I never actually played the damn game, I only know what I've seen in Let's Plays and other people's streams of the game, so they're gonna have to sit here at number 7.
Number 6.
Number 6 doesn't really offer many special features like some of the other entrants on the list, but it's from one of my favorite games of all time and is packed full of charm. The Mughals in Final Fantasy IX save your data by writing it in a journal. As you journey around the world, these guys always have something to say. And there's even a massive side quest involving a letter delivery service called the Magnet that you have to save. You see, one of the Mughals decided to try rubbing the oil of the mail sorting machine on his fur because it makes him look cool and shiny. But this causes the entire machine to break down. It's up to you to work together with all the Mughals in the game to figure out how to solve their issue. This style of save point fits perfectly in the world of Final Fantasy IX, and my favorite part is when you call the Mughal who can save your game on the world map enough times without actually wanting to save, he'll eventually get so mad he'll start sharpening his knife in front of you and have himself a little bit of a mental breakdown.
Number 5.
Since the very beginning of the franchise, the Metal Gear games have used their radio transmitters or codec calls to save your data or give you a password. I've said it before and I'll say it again, immersion and creativity are big when it comes to save points in video games. So having you radioing your status to save your game ticks both boxes in the Metal Gear series. The immersion is one thing, but once you get to the PS1 and PS2 games, the calls result in full-on lore-deepening conversations with the person or people on the other end of the line. From getting to know each other a little better to talking about movie trivia, codec call saving is one of the best in the whole video game industry, so it had to be in here somewhere.
Number 4.
No More Heroes is a great series that drops pop culture references and isn't afraid to make fun of itself for a good laugh. In No More Heroes, Travis Touchdown saves his data whilst also saving his bowels from blowing out. The same pressure and tension Travis and possibly even the player feels building up in their large intestine can finally be relieved as he opens up the door and releases his save data into the shitter on which he sits. Having toilets be the save points is absolutely hilarious and kinda ties into the player's life as well. There's definitely been a few times where I've gripped the controller while crawling my way through waves of difficult enemies to reach a save point so that I can run my clenched cheeks upstairs and drain my own swamp. For resonating with me so much, the toilets from No More Heroes flush their way to number 4 on the list.
Number 3.
I'm a huge Castlevania fan, and one of the most iconic games in the franchise is Symphony of the Night. With a huge castle to explore and the game not being broken down into levels like previous games in the series, Symphony of the Night had to have some kind of a save feature. But how should Dracula's son Alucard take a minute to not only save his progress, but also fully heal himself? By resting in his coffin, of course. After fighting through hordes of enemies and exploring 2 massive castles, Alucard can enter save rooms which at first contain what seems like the beating heart of the castle itself. Once he enters the center of the room, the heart of the castle reforms around him as his very own casket, and his health is restored along with his data being saved. For being such a smart way to save and heal, as well as being spread out so perfectly throughout the castle, Alucard's coffin deserves its place at number 3 on the list.
Number 2.
What if I told you that there was a save point that not only restored all your HP and MP, but could teleport you instantly to an airship that would let you warp to anywhere in the game's world? And then, what if I told you that that same save point would allow you to play Blitzball here, here, and even here? That's right, the Traveler's Save Spheres from Final Fantasy X can do all that. Now you don't have to walk all the way down any of the long high roads to get to where you're wanting to go. Hell, you don't even have to walk to the Blitzball Stadium anymore. You just walk up to one of these bad boys and head to the airship to take on Sin or get your Blitz on. For letting you play one of my favorite minigames of all time and being an absolute godsend when you're low on health or need to get back to the airship, the Traveler's Save Spheres are sitting here in the number 2 spot.
Number 1.
In Rogue Galaxy, you have an entire galaxy to explore. With multiple massive planets, the transporters were absolutely necessary for players to fully enjoy and traverse this massive game. Much like Final Fantasy X's save spheres, the transporters will instantly fully heal your party once you touch them, but more importantly, they can be used to transport you to any other transporter you've ever been to on that planet. This is essential when it comes to exploring new areas, catching new insectors, and finding lost treasure. With each planet and location having huge sprawling dungeons, you sometimes have to leave for supplies and return to where you left off, which is why these transporters are so necessary. The fact that they fit the game's lore so well also ties into why they're so high up on the list. You can also use them to access your bounties and cash them in for new rewards without having to go all the way back to the Galaxy Corporation's headquarters on Zerard. This game literally could not be played the way it is without its transporters, which is why it sits so high up on the list at number 1. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments what some of your favorite save points are. There are so many great ones. Let's get into a couple honorable mentions before we say goodbye. The first honorable mention would have to be both the checkpoint barrels and Candy Kong's save point, which is basically a kissing booth, but instead of getting your smooch on, you jump into a barrel where she can save your progress thus far. And nothing feels as relieving in the later stages of the game than finding and smashing a checkpoint barrel. Just look how devastating it is when these two idiots accidentally load a save state after hitting one in a difficult Donkey Kong Country 2 stage.
Yes! No! No! I wanted to save it and I loaded! No!
No, this is happening! There's no... What am I fighting for?
And last but not least is my boy Data from Mega Man Legends. Data is one of the only characters in the Mega Man Legends series who actually knows who and what Mega Man is. He was found next to Mega Man when he was discovered and has been by his side ever since. Always there to give a bit of advice and knowledge as well as fully restore Mega Man's health and weapon energy, he also does a damn good job of saving your progress. Thanks again everyone. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe, and if you're on Twitch, come hang out. You can give me a follow and find me at twitch.tv/Dookie03. I'm currently playing and loving Lunar 2 Eternal Blue. Hope to see you either there or in the next video. See ya.